Hey everyone, welcome back to the 2024 Stash Builder collaboration. This month, August, we're going to be working on New Year's cards. I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do for this when my friend Mark made a comment about a recent obsession of mine and asked if I was going to do a video about it. I thought, well, that would make a perfect New Year's card. So, here we go. This is my first try at the card. It's a lovely easel card. That's how it works. It goes into the envelope flat, and then it stands up to go on display. Now, I don't think easily in 3 dimensions, so it was a revelation to me that I could make one of these, and it came out. I mean, this is my very first try. I made 2 others that were considerably better, and I'm hoping that the next bunch will be better still. But yeah, it was 3 dimensions and it kind of works. Although I will admit my first try is a bit unstable and maybe not the best of all possible proportions, but here we go. So the first thing is you need 2 consecutive circle dies from your nesting circle dies, and you need a card blank. You take the bigger one, you lay it down on the card blank, making sure that it sticks out the top, because this will be the hinge, and you run it through. And then you would end up with something like this. Then you take the smaller die, you put it right there, and you run it through again. And you get something like, hope I'm not going to need that tape I just heard fall. There's, at least I know where it went now. And you end up with something like this. In addition, from the larger of the circle dies, you need to cut a circle of acetate, and you need 3 borders. Okay? I'm not very good at 3 dimensions, and I don't feel like making a video while I'm running back and forth across the room to my die cutter. So I will put the link from the Coast to Coast Craft Girls video from which I learned this. It's absolutely a brilliant, brilliant card. Okay. So I think, go see them. They're fantastic. So then you look at the first edge, turn it upside down, and put down some glue. I lost my glue bottle, so I'm hoping that this one is going to be okay, because I had to refill a new one with a new bottle of glue, and you have to add a little water so that it can come out the needle top. And with the first time, it took me about 4 tries to get it the right consistency. Okay, now you've put glue down on your circle. Do your best to get the guck off the acetate and put it down on top. And then go round again. I think this is going to be kind of thin. And put the second ring right on top. And And if, like me, you're pro at making a mess. Clean up the mess as best you can. And set that aside to dry. Now, we want to color our base, or maybe you don't, but I do. So we won't need to, like I said, I don't easily think in 3 dimensions. Now I've got to figure out how this went again. I'm so confused. Okay. You don't need to color the ring because that's going to be underneath the frame. But you might want to color the base. I hope this comes out okay. I asked my family to give me some color schemes to work with because I was so in love with the black and gold that I was not entirely sure I could come up with colors. So I asked my family to around the table, and now I'm trying to figure out how to make that work. The simplest color scheme was my son, who asked me for green and silver. Since I don't have any silver mirror card, I'll just use paint. It dawns on me that this may come out better if I can see. I'm going to change my glasses for my reading glasses. It's a funny thing. When I was working, I didn't have time to craft as much as I wanted to, so I would spend the hour or so wandering around Michael's or Joann's and buying stuff. And I have been working for 10 years now at getting through the stash I built. I wouldn't say I'm coming towards the end of it by any means. Okay, now we also want to color this ring. And I probably should have done that before I put the acetate on. So let's put a little piece of, the cutout so that I don't get the acetate all green. And it's the back of the circle, so I can use it for something else if I want to without necessarily wanting the green. Jack chose pine needles as his green. It's one of my favorites too. I don't think the paint is going to go on over the wet ink, so I'll try again later. Okay. Now, we have the acetate circle, and we have the card base. Now we want to do the top half this way. Okay, I'm not entirely sure this is going to work because I don't think in 3 dimensions, and I'm having trouble figuring it out. Again, still. Okay. I want this here. Only looking at this, I inadvertently made a standard 2-dimensional card with one of my attempts because I couldn't get the 3 dimensions to come out, and I think I'm about to do the same. So yep, that's what I've done. Fortunately, I have a re-inker for pine needles because, as I say, it's also one of my favorites. And Alicia was telling me about using re-inkers to make your own sprays, and I've been fascinated watching her use her sprays and very, very curious to try. She sent me some, and I look forward to giving it a go. Now, aha. Okay. I think I just figured it out. I did indeed. Okay. Success. I feel so proud. Yes, that's how that works. So, you want to fold the top in half. You wouldn't believe it. I have made this card quite a few times and checked out the video quite a few times, and I still can't seem to memorize how to make it work. So I have to figure it out every time. Anyway, here we go. Line those up. And then turn it over. Grab your last ring. Making sure the stitch is on the side you want it to be on. Pinch it together, clean up the glue if you like me, and make a mess anytime you use glue, but I don't think this works as well using tape. Okay, and it needs to dry again. I'll be right with you. I'm looking for my clamp, which I apparently forgot to bring to the table. There it is. Now, we want to decorate this. So I have brought a pretty silver-ish pretty thing. There it is. From Simply Recollections. And we want to put it down here because when this stands up, we want it to prop this up. So I have some Zots. We need the bigger size. These boxes are probably 20 years old, so I'm hoping that if they don't sell these anymore, they sell something like it, and that you know where to get it. I think I had better go out, because I think I'm losing you mostly. Okay. We'll put this here. And while this dries, the next step is the die cut that we want to use for a greeting. I think I probably complained to you at least once about long COVID and how it had really kicked my endocrine system like crazy and exacerbated my diabetes and my hypothyroid and made my life miserable for a couple of years. Well, just lately, it seems to me that my diabetes numbers are coming down, and I was able to reduce my thyroid dose again. So it may be over. I guess it does eventually. Very, very pleased, because I had to cut out so many yummy foods. No carrots, no beetroot, no onion. Beetroot, yeah, that's Australian for beets. So I'm getting to add them back into my diet, and I am very pleased. It's funny, I've been here for 10 years now. And I'm finally beginning to feel kind of normal here. The climate is so very different to what I knew back in the States. I spent 30 years near Detroit, so that's the climate that my body, I guess, had become attuned to. Yeah, cutting this out of the frame because I think the frame would not add anything to this particular card. I'm not an expert at getting these smooth looking. Okay. I love dyes. I really do. But sometimes they can be so frustrating. Especially when you insist on not using them the way they were intended. And of course, I do insist because that's just the way I'm wired. This one actually cuts out fine. It's that I'm not patient. Well, I want this green, so let's start that, and maybe I can get those centers out eventually. Yeah, I think some of these didn't cut properly. I may just be stuck with them. Or not. We shall see. Huh. Maybe only one piece that won't come out. That'd be nice. Ah! This is the coldest winter I have experienced here. It's nothing like Michigan winter, of course, but Michigan also doesn't have the sea breezes off the Antarctic, so in some ways it's every bit as challenging. The temperatures don't get as low here, but I swear to you they feel like they're much lower sometimes. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put that down the way that it will go in the envelope. And then chase around looking for the things I've dropped. Does that happen to you too? The oopsie days where you wake up in the morning and drop everything all through the day and it makes no difference how careful you think you're being? Or is that just me? Anyway, so little dots. I think I got it too thin to have successful little dots, but And the original card, there were two samples, absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. But they were decorated with rather large flowers that would be pretty much impossible to put into an envelope and drop in the mail. And I think I really like the ones with the big flowers. But you do what you can. But I really do recommend that you go over and see the Coast to Coast Craft Girls. Because this is not doing their card justice. It really isn't. It is, however, showing you that you too can make one. Much easier than it looks. Okay. Now, need to figure out exactly where the top is, because I want this to be on straight. Oops. If I didn't get glue on the new, I would miss it. Having a word flapping in the wind is not helpful. Okay, turn it around. Dab at the excess glue. Fortunately, I find that PVA glue comes out in the wash. So I'll be able to just toss this into the hamper once it's dry. Now, can you see that? Yeah. And I pulled out some of my old Michael's flowers, some of the few that remain. They layer beautifully, but I'm not sure that's the best way to go this time. Yeah, I think that'll work. So, you probably can't see the glue dots, but they're there. I'm pretty sure you can't see the glue dots because I can barely see the glue dots. Oh, my daughter-in-law and I were talking at the dinner table last night about paper making. I've always been interested, but never actually researched it very thoroughly because I would see the kits in fancy paper stores, and they were very expensive. But she's also kind of interested in learning how that's done, so I started looking at how to do it on the cheap because, yeah, everything is possible now because we have the internet. And so I may be getting into that at some point. There's so many things I want to do. So many. I want to get practiced with sprays. I want to do Lavinia style scene cards. So many things. I'm going to need a whole nother lifetime to get it all done, folks. Anyway, there is our New Year's card. Let's see if it shows better. A bit, yeah. There you go. So, thank you for joining me. And next month, in September, we will be doing thank you cards again because, well, we all need thank you cards, right? Happy crafting. Yeah, not very verbal today. Sorry.